So depending on when you watch this video, Season 1 for Vanguard and Warzone is either live right now or just about to go live. 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon Eastern, 5 p.m. in the UK. There is a ton of content here being added, changed, and everything in between. Today we're breaking down everything you need to know, what all changed, what all was added with the Season 1 update for both Vanguard and Warzone. So that said, as we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. Is there anything in particular that really stands out to you that you really like out of this update or these updates? Anything maybe that you didn't quite like? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts down below. But if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like on the video. Let's aim for 2,000 on this. And of course, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Vanguard, all things Warzone. We have a lot of stuff here up on deck you guys will not want to miss regarding Season 1. So if you're part of that nearly 70% of viewers that are not subscribed and you'd like to stay up to date with all of this while helping us out on that road to 500,000 subscribers, I'd love to have you in the community. But said, we got a lot to talk about, so let's just jump right into it. So with absolutely so much stuff up on deck, let's start out with the seasonal stuff, the things that can encompass both Vanguard as well as Warzone, then jump into some Vanguard stuff, and then finish out with the Warzone update here for Season 1. The seasonal content here, probably the biggest thing that sort of sweeps over both of these is the new Battle Pass. This is going to be available for free for 1,000 COD points or for 2,400 COD points. Free gives you access to all weapons and all perks and the functional stuff, as well as a few smaller things along the way. For 1,000 COD points, that starts at tier 0, but you have access to all 100 tiers. And for 2,400 COD points, you have access to all 100 tiers, but start at tier 20, saving you a bit as opposed to if you bought entry to it at 1,000 COD points and then bought 20 additional tiers. Additionally, if you end up getting that bundle, you do get an additional Polina skin on top of all of that. Now, if you also purchase the Ultimate Edition of the game, you actually should be able to get this for free. Credit for the pass and 20 tiers should be granted upon the first startup of your game after the seasonal content is launched. That Ultimate Edition came bundled with a seasonal Battle Pass bundle, so kind of just pre-purchasing that at a point with the Ultimate Edition. Now, I will say, if you guys do want to support the channel a little further, this is entirely optional. You can, again, like last year and the year before, use creator code ESPRESSO in the store to purchase your Battle Pass or anything else you may pick up in the shop here throughout the seasons, but do not ever feel pressure to do so, only if you'd like to support the channel a little further. If you do, tweet me a picture. I'd love to shout out some of your generous support in upcoming videos. But anyways, the other stuff here coming across both Vanguard and Warzone for Season 1 come down to probably next most important, the brand new weapons. The Carbine Garenko Anti-Tank Rifle and the Sawtooth Melee are included in the Battle Pass with Season 1, and they're all free. The Carbine comes along at tier 15, the Garenko Anti-Tank Rifle, or the PTRS, comes along at tier 31. Now, having played a little bit with both of these in Vanguard here in private matches, I did actually get one kill in our early capture session of Caldera with the Carbine, but it was a kind of crappy build based off just ground loot, so don't really know how that will perform just yet. In Vanguard, at least, it seriously felt like a solid rifle. It was something that may compete with your STG or something like that, something easy to pick up, might not have the best damage properties, but it is something that can pack a punch with the right attachments, and it does have vital and additional damage mags, so that's something to consider as well. The Garenko Anti-Tank Rifle, or the PTRS, is definitely a beefier sniper of our sniper selections, and that's saying a lot. Snipers here are kind of bad this year, I think, in terms of mobility, quick scoping, or anything like that if you're into it, but it's definitely on the slower end for the snipers here, but the damage absolutely packs a punch. With the right attachments, and actually maybe even base, it can one-hit at basically almost any location on the body. Stomach shots were one-shotting for me when I was just playing around in some private matches with bots, and it was something that seriously felt like I could absolutely demolish enemies. You just gotta be careful of the ammo on hand, and also, again, that ADS time. The Sawtooth Melee didn't quite play around with this. It is a melee though for free, so it's not something that I really will go too much into detail with. It's just basically a melee reskin of your combat knife. But also in the Battle Pass here for this are brand new perks for the first time, which is definitely interesting. I'm on the fence here with this. On one hand, I don't really like it. I think it's weird that this is in the Battle Pass, but on the other hand, it is still free. It's just sort of a progressive unlock where players will get it earlier than others, and it'll probably be something where at the end of the season, they're just kind of thrown into the regular creator class, but that being the perks of Serpentine and Intuition. Serpentine allows you to slightly reduce incoming ballistic and explosive damage while sprinting, and Intuition, players are alerted of the presence of nearby enemies, even through walls, and kind of looks a little bit OP for some of these. So that's something to consider. Those perks, though, are only available within Vanguard. Same thing with the new equipment of the Incendiary Grenade. That's a large radius grenade that will deal damage to any enemies within range. Now, also with the Battle Pass, we have our new operator of Francis from Task Force Trident, who's automatically unlocked at Tier 0 with purchase of the Battle Pass. The other two operators will be coming in season, again, likely via store bundle, but then we'll see a seasonal rank reset as well, sort of rounding out our things talking about both Vanguard and and Warzone. So recording this at an earlier time here as the update's going out overnight, but the content itself still being locked until midday, a couple of hours after this video goes live. Still a chance though, if you watch this, it could be live at that point, but this might be a little bit tricky to explain without some visual reference. But to the best of my ability, your rank will then reset to whatever prestige you last achieved. This preseason introduced us to 3 prestiges after our military ranks. For me, I hit level 100 plus. I think I actually ended up capping out over level 600, which is in your master prestige levels, but prestige 3 was that highest that I saw. So with this rank reset, I'm going to be back down to level 1 of prestige 3. From there, I can automatically go through my levels of level 50 achieving prestige 4, level 100 achieving prestige 5, 150 achieving prestige 6, and 200 to achieve prestige 7. Ranks 201 to 1000 are considered master prestige and grinding levels additionally. So really just giving me something to do, but not adding new prestiges to that. So the max prestige that you can hit this season, technically speaking, is prestige 7. But say you reached rank 83 this preseason, you didn't max out. That would mean that you would then reset down to level 1 of prestige 2, because prestige 2 encompasses level 50 to 99 in the preseason, and that's sort of your last saved checkpoint. So you'd start at prestige 2, level 1. At level 50, you'd hit prestige 3. 100, you'd hit prestige 4. 150, prestige 5, 200, prestige 6. However, unlike those that started at the max prestige, you're not locked at 200 for a max prestige. You can still go ahead and earn additional prestiges going on. Instead of your master prestige ranks going from 200 to 1000, you then can have the ability to still earn that 7th prestige at level 250 of the next season and play catch up so that next season with season 2, you'll be on top of everything. Now, additionally, we do see some seasonal prestige challenges. Those will be unlocked every 10 levels for MP and zombies. But let's talk about some Vanguard specific stuff here. We saw that our maps introduced with season 1 are Radar and Paradise. Both are free and available, depending on when you watch this, either in the actual rotation of the game or available in private match if the content hasn't quite gone live for you just yet. Now, Radar seems to be that faithful remake of Dome. It was fun to play around with and to experience a bit of in the classic, or I guess modern format. Modern, technically speaking, since the game does take place, obviously, in World War II. But if you were playing it back in Modern Warfare 3, back in Ghost when it was a DLC map, you'll probably be well aware of how this map plays and really how to dominate on it. Paradise, on the other hand, that's a brand new map, and it's pretty big. Like, pretty dang big. On the surface and below, there's a whole subsection of the map that you can go into that's a kind of tunnel system. This map has a few main points of action and flow that'll be interesting to see how it plays with the higher player counts of things like Blitz, but for now, I just like to sit back and see the nice maps look scenically, at least in my opinion. I think they look pretty good. We'll see the new mode of control is coming soon with Season 1. There's no specific date given, but it's mentioned that it's in the launch week, so maybe tomorrow on Thursday or Friday, given when the weekly playlist refresh may come in. It's possible, but again, just an educated guess. On the multiplayer side, we did have some weapon tuning and some overall fixes for some things, both live right now, but also some stuff live coming on the 9th. Overall, for the stuff live right now, we saw a tuning pass on the mounting ability. We saw custom modifications introduced, which is definitely nice. Players can now save their own builds, and that's absolutely something that is great for quality of life and something that really can help you just speed through your create a class process. XP rates have been raised for snipers. The 3-line sniper rifle, those bloodthirsty challenges that were bugged, those have now been changed to prone challenges, and it's not listed, but the Type 11 also was apparently fixed for its bugged camo challenges as well. However, that's the extent of it. Your STG, your M1 Garand, your Panzerfaust, those kind of guns are still bugged as well, so we're still not quite there where Atomic is actually available and possible to get, but I guess slowly but surely, kind of disappointed those haven't all been fixed out. Dead drop and the glitch surrounding that with the infinite streaks has been fixed, plus the charge time has been doubled. The Goliath was made easier to determine if it's enemy or friendly. The Flame Knot had damage indicators added for those in the suit. The firebombing run fixed an issue with the visual effects where you'd be taking damage to the streak when there wasn't fire on your screen, but in all actuality it was there. The attack dogs also had some better animation paths. But what's upcoming still is actually still a couple of big changes. We'll see some improved stability when it comes to connecting to lobbies. Lobbies have been breaking and disbanding if you're playing with crossplay a lot, so that's an issue that's been currently sort of out of hand. Honestly, I experienced that almost every game that I queue with my friends. We'll see some weapon tuning here where it will correct the loadouts of the 7-round mags, showing ammo totals that are actually divisible by 7, balancing including changes to the M1 Garand, which will reduce the recoil. The Type 99 will have reduced aim flinch, ADS time, and retain a one-shot kill potential for chest shots when smaller caliber ammo is used. The 3-line sniper rifle will have a reduction in its ADS time, making it a little bit more viable. The Kar 98K will retain one-shot kill potential with the smaller caliber ammo as well. The sniper attachments of Hollow Point will now reduce the range. The Top Break will have a change to its ammo modifications, where lower caliber ammo will now reduce the range instead of the overall damage. And shotguns will have the Buck and Slugs reduced in ADS speed penalty and headshot multiplier, and Birdshot reducing the headshot multiplier. Now, the Mortar Barrage will see an improvement to the visibility by reducing the full screen smoke effects, so that's something that makes it then only really effective once you're closer to the barrage itself, which is only partially the problem if you ask me. That, of course, was something that got totally out of hand, but when you consider that the Mortar Barrage is only a 5 kill streak, it lasts for 45 seconds and can be placed into spawns without flipping people, there's a little bit more problems underlying all of that rather than just the visual screen shake, if you ask me. So I'm still hoping to see a little bit more of a nerf here with that, whether that be a damage reduction to it, a decrease in terms of the overall timing, whatever the case may be. Hopefully there's a little bit more on deck. And then Shipment will see adjusted spawn logic to prevent more spawn traps. But that's the Vanguard stuff here with Season 1 and the more so content and technical sides of things. But for Warzone, we end up having, of course, that brand new map, Warzone Pacific. That's the big key marquee ticket item here, offering up new areas like Arsenal, Docks, Runway, Ruins, Mines, Peak, Beachhead, Village, Lagoon, Airfield, Fields, Subpen, Power Plant, Capital, and Resort. We have done a lot of breakdowns already here on the channel, so check out yesterday's videos if you guys want to see some sort of early access breakdown stuff. But we'll, of course, have a ton of content breaking down a lot more Warzone stuff. But to sort of save you that time, because this is already going to be a super beefy video talking about everything that changed, just know the new map is out there. There's a lot to explore. There's a brand new gulag here. That's something that's pretty fun to play around with as well. Rebirth Island is going to be available for the next 24 hours for those that do not have Vanguard, that don't have access to Caldera just yet. But after that, it's going to be returning on December 16th, and we're not going to see Rebirth Island for week 1 here of Season 1. On top of all of that, we of course have the Warzone integration with Vanguard content, all 40 plus new weapons coming into the game, a dozen plus new operators, new prestiges, new calling cards, emblems, everything that you've retained from Vanguard so far is going to be coming into Warzone as well. So that's something that will change the game tremendously, and of course offers a lot to do in regards to what's up on deck for Season 1 and the Warzone experience. We have new vehicles of the fighter plane, utility truck, and squad transport. We have new contracts, the top secret contract, big game bounty, supply drop contracts. We have new public events of restock, resurgence, cash drop, and heavy weapons crates, and we have a bunch of other new mechanics like flying, anti-aircraft guns, gasoline cans, and even the interactability with shallow water. In terms of gameplay adjustments, we saw that stopping power was entirely removed from Warzone. It no longer exists anymore, which is great. The Gulag, if you win that, you'll now redeploy with the loadout you had in the Gulag. The buy stations, UAVs now cost 6,000, up from when it was 4,000 beforehand. Loadout drop markers were changed, where this can only be purchased at buy stations after the first free loadout drop public event has taken place, which now takes place in the second zone. And then the Dead Silence field upgrade will now only refresh on the first kill only, with also a reduction in the drop rate found in the ground loot. They're going to be continuing to monitor all that kind of stuff, so don't worry. Outside of all of that, we have additional tuning, including melee damage. Melee and non-melee weapons will now require at least 3 hits to achieve a melee finisher damage, which is a significant change, and that is totally fine with me. I have been off drop meleeed by somebody with a pistol immediately, way faster than I can shoot them with my gun, so many times, so I'm totally okay with that. I know it might make a little bit of people angry, but it is something that is a change here happening. Lethal equipment had some sweeping changes to it. The Claymore damage is increased to 200, now up from 150, so doing a lot more damage. The frag grenade now deals up to 225 damage with a minimum of 112, which is almost double here of that in regards to previous damage. The Molotov cocktail, each damage tick now increases to 21, 36, and 43, which is again a significant increase in damage, but the duration is also increased to 12.5 seconds, so lasting quite a bit longer. The proximity mine increased its damage to 225, up from 200. The Semtex has a max damage now of 150 and a minimum damage of 74. That's a slight increase to what it was. Sticking players, though, should still down them. Throwing knives now increase the damage to 250, which was up from 200. Tactical equipment also saw some sweeping changes, where the decoy grenade will now fire rubber bullets and the chance to hit nearby enemies, dealing 1 point of damage each time. The heartbeat sensor's nerf now is something that it pulses pulses one time every 6 seconds as opposed to every 3 seconds. So it's going to take a little bit more time to get those readouts on where enemies may be. The snapshot grenade now has an increased detection radius of 28 meters, which is a doubling of what it used to be. The stim now applies an additional 3-second boost that increases movement, slide, and sprint speed. And the stun grenades will now have a duration decrease down to 2.5 seconds to 4.5 seconds, depending on the proximity in which they hit the player. The gas mask will now wait for reloading, armor plate insertion, or grenade throwing animation to complete, which is definitely a nice change as well. Now, we do need to mention, and this is imperative to know, that we will see weapon tuning here coming very shortly thereafter this content is live. After Season 1 goes live here this afternoon, early morning, evening, whatever the case may be for you, we will see some tuning to all weapons here seemingly, especially the Vanguard weapons. It turns out the stuff that we are playing with in our early access capture event was actually an older build of the game, so it might be something that's drastically different. Some of the stuff may be still right on par with what we think are the best weapons, but we will be seeing some tuning here, and those update notes will be going live shortly. So stick around here on the channel and we'll keep you up to date with all of that. Now, the final thing that we're going to talk about is something that right now we don't have an answer to, or right now, as of me recording this, about 8 to 10 to 12 hours earlier than when this video goes live, doesn't have the information. By the time Season 1 goes live, we of course will have this information, but right now there is zero word on the FOV slider for current and next-gen consoles for Warzone. That FOV slider has been something that seemed to be teased here based off of the screenshot you'll see on screen right now, in which even in the patch notes they mentioned UI changes that would introduce the graphics options being split for all players on all platforms into the display and quality section. That image also being a header image that showcased field of view. Now, that's something that has since been removed from the patch notes, and it makes me question so many things. I haven't taken to Twitter about this last night. It seemed to have set the mentions on fire and sparked a lot of debate here, but no matter what way you look at it, I have questions for both ways this ends up coming. On one hand, if it does end up coming to current and next generation consoles, why was it shrouded in so much mystery and vague non-answers for this entire duration? But on the other hand, if it isn't coming, why isn't it coming after 2 games introduced it on console and now a sort of engine shift that supports it? Now I get, okay, we're still on Modern Warfare's application. The base engine has been upgraded to feature some Vanguard tech. That's why we have the ability to go into things like water on a just shorthand explanation of it and a short off the top of my head example. Being that we still have the same movement, that doesn't necessarily indicate that we're still on the same exact Modern Warfare engine that we've been on the last 2 years. But I just can't see why, if it doesn't come, why it's still something where the engine seemingly supports it with Vanguard's engine, if it actually is truly there, or even if we're still on Modern Warfare's engine by some weird mishap where we haven't been able to upgrade just yet. Why have we not made this something that can do that? I'm no game engineer, but I feel like this is something that we should have been able to tackle within a 2-year span, going into the 3rd year of Warzone's life here for the next 12 months. Especially whenever next generation consoles are now getting out of their infancy. Yes, they're still hard to find, but it still is something that it should start to be accommodated for in game development. So that's the big question mark here in regards to Season 1 as of right now. Again, shortly we'll have all the answers, but anyways, that's where I'm at here with all of this. I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. That's Season 1 for both Vanguard and Warzone. We're of course going to have so much stuff to talk about, so make sure you stick it here on the channel. Do me a favor, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like down below. If you are new to the channel as well, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Season 1. Warzone, we have a lot of guides and tutorials going up here very, very soon, and also Vanguard content as well. If you're interested in any of that, hit that subscribe button. That said, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys mostly in Caldera here experiencing the new map for the next couple of days. But that said, you guys take care. I'll see you guys later, and peace.